I know it's not what you're talking about, but I want to know what your point of view as a person that work agent for, I think, Homeland Security, right?
Yeah.
What is your point of view right now with going on with Trump right now with immigration and ICE? What is your point of view?
I think it's good. I think we haven't enforced immigration like this in a very long time, and I think not only do we need to stop the border crossings, but then we also need to remove the people that are here illegally that have kind of been here for a while from the Biden administration, other administrations.
What do you think about the racially profiling people that are brown, people that are getting stopped just because they're brown? Do you think that affects the amendments that we have, like the Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment?
Well, here's the thing, right? And this is why, like, I kid around and I say, like, I'm like a proud bigot or racist. Like, the reality is everyone has some level of bias, racism, profiling, like, because human beings don't have the ability to get to know everybody that they talk to. So you have to kind of have preconceived notions about how someone looks and what their behavior is going to be to kind of predict, right? It's a safety mechanism, right? And then obviously if you meet them and they're not the stereotype, that's different, right? Like, for example, the gentleman before, he confirmed all the stereotypes about black men. He's and violent and all this other shit. So, is every black guy like that? No. But a lot of the times when you kind of assume what things are going to be, you'll be right a lot of the times. We'll be wrong sometimes, yes. But, if you don't do that, then you might set yourself up to be assaulted. Now, to come back to the immigration thing, I don't think it's necessarily profiling as much as a lot of these people were ordered removed by an immigration judge. So it's not that they're being profiled, it's that they've been ordered removed by a judge. They're not here legally.
But there's 4 raids going on, and they're stopping people who are just brown.
I'm sorry?
There's raids going on. And there's people that are getting stopped just for being brown, for looking brown. So if you're a person about the Constitution and you're like American, then how are you okay with that? How are you okay with any U.S. citizen being stopped for the purpose of them being a brown person?
Well,
how do you justify that as a person, as a brown person yourself?
Yeah, I don't
think if it happens to you, how are you going to handle that? Are you going to be okay with that? You're just going to say it's part of the process?
Well, I'm not an illegal alien.
Yeah,
and
so neither am I. But people that look like me get stopped every day for bullshit like that, which is going against the Constitution. How are you as an American okay with that?
Well, here's the thing. You got to remember that what you might define as profiling might not actually be profiling, right? So, like, let's say immigration officers know that there's a lot of illegal aliens that hang out at a Home Depot. They go there and they see 20 individuals, right? And they know that this is a place that a lot of people tend to be illegal looking for work. Well, if they go ahead and do what's called an immigration inspection and ask them, hey, of what country are you a citizen? They can do that. They have the right to do that as immigration officers. Yeah. So I wouldn't consider that really profiling. And then in a lot of these cases where they're, going out and actually arresting people, they have an immigration warrant, which means they've been deported by an immigration judge. So
yeah, that's a very few, but there's people who are just commuting, going on through their lives and being stopped, and they shouldn't have to even. There should be no reason a brown person should have to stop and identify themselves when they haven't committed a crime. We have the freedom to travel, and we're being stopped.
Well, that's where you're wrong. They did commit a crime by coming here illegally.
You're saying not everyone that's brown committed a crime, and not everyone that's Mexican or brown here that committed a crime, and not everyone here is illegally. So there's people that are getting stopped that are full U.S. citizens that are getting asked for identification when they shouldn't have to. They have the freedom to just travel.
Well, immigration officers have the ability to do immigration inspections. They can absolutely stop you and ask your citizenship.
Yeah, but they're only stopping brown people. They're not stopping white people.
Well, if they're close to the border and that's what it tends to be, that's what it's going to be. Like it's. So
you're just okay with that. So you're picking and choosing. So if you can't, how do you pick and choose what you want to follow from the Constitution?
It's not about picking and choosing. It's about they have a duty to remove illegal aliens. Yeah. A lot of the illegal aliens tend to be from Mexico and South America. They have a certain type of look, so it makes sense that they would go ahead and ask them questions or conduct an immigration inspection. I don't think that's inherently biased or racist because a lot of these officers that are doing this are Mexican themselves or Hispanic. Most Border Patrol agents are actually Mexicans. People don't know this. They're not white people. They're not. They're literally Hispanics themselves. So I think you saying, oh no, they're profiling against brown people. I mean,
they are. I mean, you can't deny it.
It's happening. See, my premise is that profiling isn't bad. See, you're framing it as if it's bad. I frame it as that's just natural police work, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I mean, that's your opinion. I'm here to see your opinion.
Yeah.
But
so I don't think that's wrong. I think, as a law enforcement officer, you have a duty and, an obligation to actively, try to detect and or stop crime. And a lot of times that might come off as profiling, but I think that's good.
You think profiling is good?
Yep.
So you think people getting harassed is good?
If you're not a criminal, you got nothing to worry about. If you're
But
not a
people get
criminal,
detained, and U.S. citizens get detained. People with residents get detained. People who are legally here are getting detained and put in detention centers and being held
you're
and
never
having to
going to get
explain
put.
themselves.
See, that's materially false. You're never going to get put in a detention center if you're lawfully here. That's never going to happen.
No, it happens every day. It's happening right now. And I mean, you just laughing
Bro,
at it. It's false.
You do realize I used to do this for work, right?
Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
yeah.
So
You-
if someone
you're not
is,
doing it for now though.
if
You
some-
did it before. Like we're talking about present now. What
Yeah.
you did before has nothing to do with
yeah,
what's going on
well,
currently.
No, actually it does because I worked under
Doesn't.
Trump as well. I worked under the Trump
We're not talking
administration
about
the
right
first time
now.
he was on.
Yeah, and that
And
administration changed
you
from this.
cannot-
The laws have changed completely. What he's doing, what he did as the last administration, is completely different with the administration going on now.
It's very
His numbers,
similar.
his numbers are completely different. The policies that are in place are completely different. It's not the same policies.
It's very similar.
But it's
now,
not.
are they cracking down on immigration now more than before?
Yes, exactly.
But the
So it's
point
not
I'm
the
trying to
same.
make is that if you encounter somebody and they have documentation, whether it's an LPR card or they're a U.S. citizen, you're not going to take them back to an ERO facility. You're not going to do that.
They have to prove it. So they get picked up. The fact that they're even getting stopped at point. I don't
They
think
can
you're missing
literally
the
do run
point.
record
These
checks
people
right
are
there.
supposed to be just be freely traveling. Like they shouldn't have to prove anything just for the way they look. No.
No, they absolutely have to prove it. They
Just-
absolutely do.
So just
They
because-
absolutely do. And then
because someone's
another thing
born-
too is that they have a lot of them have fraudulent documents, whatever. So they have to confirm. They have to figure out if they're lawfully here or not. Like, bro, look, let me just be. And here's the problem, right? And this is exactly why we need to crack down on immigration. The fact that you're coming here and trying to make an argument about people breaking our laws and coming in
Nah,
and saying
you-
we
you're
need
you're
to
completely ignoring
we
what I'm
need
saying.
to-
You're putting words in my
because you're-
mouth.
No, because you're saying
I'm saying about
we're
people getting
profiled.
stopped. Brown people. My argument here is
Look.
about brown people getting stopped that look
Yes.
brown, that are
Yes.
here legally, that
Yes.
are citizens. I'm not here
And
promoting
if they,
the
and if they
illegal
are
immigrants.
citizens, they're released. It
No,
doesn't
they're
matter.
not. The fact that
It's
they're
no more.
detained, my issue is that the fact that they get stopped at all.
Look.
And then the white person is not going to get stopped for doing the same exact thing when they're both American. One's getting identified for being brown, one's getting identified for being white, and you're okay with that.
Yes, I'm okay with them
I
doing
mean,
their
that's cool.
jobs.
I mean, that's ignorant, but
I'm
it's
okay
good.
with them doing their jobs.
Yeah.
Again, we've gotten so pussified in America where we are more concerned with people's feelings and them being, minorly handicapped,
Yeah.
or impeded, right? Where we're
Yeah.
like, oh my God, we don't want to do our jobs because we don't want to come off as profiling.
Right.
That's a bunch of foolishness and stupidity.
I
If
think
you
you're
want to
gonna see
go
that-
ahead, we've spent decades not enforcing immigration properly, letting people come into the country legally, not going hard on immigration. So now we got to crack down, and that means we need to do a 180 of what we did before. We let people come into the country, we let them exist in sanctuary cities with impunity. Now we have to go ahead and take some corrective steps. One of those corrective steps is going to be, hey, there might be some profiling, but that's a part of the game. That's how you detect crime, and that's how
So
it
it's
goes.
just part of
So
the
the
game
people
for
that are
you.
here legally, are fine. The people that are here illegally are going to get removed. And that's what we have to do, because we've done this for decades where we just let them come in and operate however they want, thinking that they're safe in these sanctuary cities. And look, if someone's like, oh my God, I'm offended because I got impeded for 5 minutes because they're trying to determine whether I'm here legally or not. Well, it is what it is, man. This is
Like I
our
said,
problem
until
because
it
we've had
happens
open
to you-
borders for too long.
Until it happens to you or someone I mean, you can go on your way, but like I said, until it happens to you, then you'll feel it. But it doesn't infect you until it's personally to you.
Look,
And that's
I've been-
cool. I mean,
look, here's the
that's
thing.
fine. You
See,
can ignorance is to yourself,
No,
but
it's not ignorance, because
Yeah.
I've actually been profiled by the police before.
yeah,
I
you're
have.
cool with that.
And I don't get angry. You know why?
Yeah.
Because when they
You have
stop
no
me
self-respect
and
for
I get
yourself.
pulled over, and I talk to them and I'm respectful and I follow the lawful commands
Right.
and I speak, they're like, oh, okay, and they let me go because I comply. I'm polite. I treat them like an authority figure, and they leave me alone. And that's the thing. If you're polite with the cops or whatever, they'll get you out of there quickly if you're not breaking the law. But the people that are breaking the law, they're obviously going to get pissed or whatever. People get angry. But I think that's what's required to take our country back and remove these illegal aliens. We got a problem.
So you don't believe any of the ICE agents do excessive force? You don't believe in that excessive force exists in immigration and ICE agents? That you don't believe that they have hatred in their hearts? Some of them. You believe that all of them are just sweet, just following the law and just doing this because they love their job?
Here's the thing. A lot of ICE agents that are doing these deportations that you're talking about are Hispanic themselves. Most of them are, actually.
Like I said, you're completely ignoring and by-sweeping what I just said.
Well, you're making the argument that they're racist and they're biased.
I'm
and I'm
not.
telling you that's not
I'm
true.
asking you if you believe, you're just completely ignoring what I'm saying. I asked you, do you believe that all these people are genuinely following the law to code and have no hatred in their heart?
What?
What they're doing, they don't do this with the embassy.
Bro, you're trying to make an emotion for a very pragmatic thing that's going on and like what it is. Like,
Yeah.
like that's irrelevant if they have hate in their heart or not.
Yeah.
Like, Are they doing their job? And when they go ahead and effectuate an arrest, if they're going ahead and like, you're saying excessive force, a lot of times it's because they're resisting.
Yeah.
If you don't resist,
And you
they're
believe
not
all
going
of
to
them.
throw you to the floor.
So you believe all of them it's just anomalies.
Okay, so we're just going to not enforce our laws because of feelings. That's what the argument you're trying to make.
I'm just asking
And
you what your
this is-
opinion
this
is.
is-
I just want to see your
honestly,
insight on how you believe these people's
but no, 'cause
mindsets is.
you're framing the question in a certain way.
Bro,
I'll be honest.
Like,
I'll be
you
honest,
gonna
bro.
do?
This is the problem with progressivism.
just chatting over
Like,
there, like,
you guys
for
are
what?
more concerned with like feelings and hate in the heart and all this other
Yeah,
crap
real
than
hard.
enforcing laws. Like, that's the issue with progressivism. You know what I mean? It's like, let's go ahead and focus on how people feel and
Right.
do they have hate in their heart, all this other stuff, versus just getting what needs to be done. Like, this is the problem with progressivism. It impedes you from doing what you need to do because of feelings.
Right.
And this is why Trump won. This is why this political correctness and this, let's, be all nice and kumbaya, it's not real. And that's how we've ended up in the problem that we have now, where we have all these illegal aliens in the United States.
Yeah. So you don't think any of the people that voted for Trump weren't expecting this? Because there's people that are switching their opinion when they originally voted, and they're coming out saying that this is not what they thought. They what they got out is not what they thought they were going to get.
When it comes to immigration, he campaigned on mass deportations.
Yeah.
He campaigned on that. So that's not really a solid argument. He
But
literally
it's the
campaigned
sa-
on it.
It's not the same as last time when he was president. The whole system has changed. His policies have changed. He's coming in a lot harder. They're not the same exact as last time.
Look, Trump has always been pro-immigration enforcement. Obviously, they're utilizing more agencies now. So
Yeah.
they've,
You got the military involved. You
Multiplied
got
the
the military
force.
getting indoors.
well, the military is more on the border, but that's fine. Like, the point I'm trying to make here, bro, is that, like, the law's got to get enforced. Like, with all
Like
due
I-
respect, nobody cares about feelings.
Like I said, at the end of the day, like I just want to show you inside. I respect your other point of views and everything else you have, but I just want to see what your perspective is on it.
Yeah, I think that we got a job to do, and people's feelings are irrelevant. That's how I look at it.
Okay.
And if people are mad about profiling, it is what it is. That's an inherent part of police work.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Who's up next?